I'm black like that.
Well, yo, I funk like that. I'm fat like that. I'm in like that cause I swing like that. We jazz like that. We freak like that. We zoom like that. We out. We out. We out.
Diggable Planets, Rebirth of Slick, cool like that. Cool way to end off World Cafe for today. Thanks so much for letting me hang with you, play you some music. Thank you to our affiliates across the country who make it all possible, including Lakeshore Public Media in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. We produce this show at WXPN at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. I'm Raina Duras. Thanks for listening to World Cafe from NPR.
World Cafe is supported by the Doris Duke Foundation, which aims to support the well-being of people and the planet for a more creative, equitable, and sustainable future.
You can cause serious trouble, 'cause that's what I want.
Before her last album, Amanda Shires thought she'd never record music again. But finding the right person to work with in the studio changed things. You'll hear who that person was and how Amanda found her voice again as we revisit that interview in advance of her new album coming out this month. That's next time on an Encore World Cafe.
This forecast is underwritten by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. Smarter, better healthcare. More at bcbsms.com.
Chances for wet weather extremely low across the state for the next 5 to 7 days as we have this building ridge of high pressure coming in. Clear for the early morning in Tupelo, our low 60s. Sunny for the weekend with highs each day low 90s and mid 90s coming our way for Monday and Tuesday. Clear in Vicksburg, a low upper 60s. Highs are ranging from the low to mid 90s for Saturday and for Sunday. We'll see a good deal of sun. Sunny on Monday, the high 95 degrees. Clear in Pascagoula, a low upper 60s. Wall-to-wall sunshine coming our way for Saturday, Sunday. Looks like for Monday, too, and even into Tuesday. And highs during this time into the lower 90s. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Naramore. This is Think Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to night
three.
Oh, gee, Merry Christmas. Thank you, guys. Just get those fingers up there. I can see them. Night 3 of Friday night under the lights. Been a great night of football. Think there may even be some upsets tonight, but it's going to be a great night. We're glad to have an in-house guest. That is Cliff Barker from Tri-County. As you can see him here on the right, you know who Russ, you know who George is. So, Russ,
without further ado,
it's all you.
Thank you, Chris. And next week will be week 4. That's kind of way it folds on this.
Well, yes, I can see it. It's even written on my sheet.
That's the normal progression.
That's right, normal progression. Well, George, we already know of one big upset tonight. This is, the time of year when schools play out of their division, sometimes out of their league. There was a great, and I'm glad Cliff Barker's in studio tonight because he does a great job with play-by-play for Tri-County, and they played prep tonight. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I think my personal feeling is Tri-County is going to be there at the end of all of this thing. They got a lot of talent over there. We'll talk to Cliff about that in just a moment. But I know there's a lot of folks just getting in that car, shutting the door, and they want to know what scores you got.
Okay, do you want to give with the upset, or you just want to go through the gamut?
Let's lead with the upset.
All right, we'll lead with the upset. Well, we were tracking this one the last half hour or so, but Brookhaven at home tonight defeats Madison Central 20-17 in overtime. Brookhaven's now 3-0. Madison Central, a good 7A team. Brookhaven, apparently a pretty strong 5A team.
Apparently.
And they won tonight. That one just went final
in
couple
overtime.
Minutes ago. Yeah,
it was overtime, yeah.
That's right. All right, here's some other scores. Long Beach shut out Bay High tonight, 49-0. It was Forest Hill edging Bay Springs 22-20. Brandon and Clinton. This was a good game at Brandon. A lot of turnovers, but close. Brandon won 14-9. There was only one score, a field goal that Clinton got in the second half. It was a defensive game. But Brandon
Totally
won that one by
opposite of
5.
last year's
Well,
game.
they were talking about that on the air. I heard Ray Coleman say they were on the air till 11 o'clock last year, and they scored 125 points. And tonight it was just 23. But it was a pretty good ball game, and Brandon at home won by 5 over Clinton. So that was a good game. Collins defeated Mount Olive 21-8. Crystal Springs took it on the chin tonight. Ty probably give us a call later.
Yeah,
but
they're not dancing in the street tonight.
Sacred Heart won 50-13 over Crystal Springs. It was Tylertown over East Marion 54-16. It was Eupora defeating Ethel 44-14. Pearl got their first win. They at home. They beat Florence tonight handily 39-0. Must have got that offense going tonight.
Greg's going to be excited tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Greg, he doesn't get excited often. So anyway,
tonight will be one of those nights.
West Harrison defeated Gaucher 47-17. Let's see. George County, or actually it was Greene County beating George County 29-23. Greenwood over Greenville 37-6. Hazelhurst over Natchez 15-6. Horn Lake 32. Olive Branch 8. Tupelo won again. They beat Houston of Germantown, Tennessee 45-7. Senatobia big over Independence 42-0. Lanier defeated Jim Hill 32-0. Lewisburg over Ripley 28-21. Let's see. Northeast Jones edged Newton County 15-14. Northwest Rankin got back on the winning track. They beat Wayne County tonight 24-14.
Big win.
Yes, it was. Noxapater shut out Puckett 27-0. Now this is an interesting game. Oak Grove and Hattiesburg. Real close game, real close rivals.
Yeah.
Oak Grove just hammered Hattiesburg tonight, 48-7. That was at Hattiesburg, and Oak Grove had not won a game, so obviously they made a statement.
I was talking to Mike Peterson about it. We'll talk to Mike a little bit later on about that ball game, and he was concerned going.
Yeah.
He said those guys are a little salty right now.
They were a little upset. Oxford beat Lafayette tonight, 63-20. Forest a big win over Perry Central, 47-6. How long do you want me to go?
Well, we got Will the Thrill on the phone, and he wants to talk before he burst a blood vessel or something tonight.
Yeah, let's get him on.
Will the Thrill, who works with us at Friday Night Under the Lights, gets us all of our score sheets.
And here he is.
He was at the game. Will, I don't think you would have had many takers at 7 o'clock tonight saying that this was going to happen. What do you think?
I did.
You did?
I did. I had said it was going to be a defensive. It was going to be a defensive battle because, Brookhaven has pitched 2 shutouts this year, and of course, even though Madison was, I think, 1-1 coming into tonight's game, their games have been somewhat close. I said defense is going to be the key to this ball game, and I tell you, I have never seen an aggressive defense like Brookhaven's, and I hate to do comparisons, but I am tonight. It reminds me of a certain team, and y'all know who I'm talking about.
I know which one you're talking about.
The 04 from that place not too far from where you all are at. But Madison gave it their all. Both teams' defense played outstanding, but in the end, I cannot remember the young man's name. I just know jersey number 6 went around left end into the end zone for the game winner in overtime. Brookhaven wins it 20-17.
Okay, well, for a lot of people who don't know how the overtime stuff goes, both teams get a shot, right?
Exactly. Madison went on offense first from the 25, and if you know anything about King Field, I think Coach Darren Dorsey in his first year at Brookhaven High as head coach chose the end of King Field that is right behind the high school itself.
Right.
Madison ran 3 plays, kicked a 20 I couldn't even see because I was field level. But the field goal was good. Brookhaven responds, ran one play, and then the quarterback goes round in for the game winner. And I mean, when I tell you that field was flooded with people, I could have sworn I was at a Mississippi State game because cowbells were ringing and it was just pandemonium.
Yeah, but they probably won't get fined $500 million. Or
No, 500,000. No, they won't get that fine. But
well, I don't recall any goalposts being toted out the stadium tonight. So that's a good
Hey,
thing.
that was some fine engineering by Mississippi State though to disassemble the goalpost in about 15 seconds.
Did
I
you
gotta
see
give them
that?
credit.
They had a wrench down there or something.
It's an engineering school, man. They had it ready to go.
Well, it was funny to me because I'm like, I've never seen that before. But hats off to you know what, guys? It's kind of funny you all say this, and I know it may be jumping the gun, but don't be surprised if a certain team winds up in Starkville. That's all.
Oh, that's throwing the gauntlet down pretty early.
Well, you know what they say: defense wins championships.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I saw two fine defenses tonight, but in the end, Brookhaven just made a few more plays than Madison. Hats off to Coach Cullum and his crew. They played a fantastic ball game. A couple of key mistakes might have cost them the game, but still they showed up. They played. Third time these two teams have ever played. Brookhaven gets his first ever win over Madison Central.
Yeah, I thought about that on the way into the show tonight because when it was that close, I thought, well, Brookhaven was going to win. I can't remember if they ever beat Madison Central. I didn't think so. But wow, what a night for you, Will. I'm gonna cut you loose because we got to get Ty Bowles on, but you got to get the score sheets going. So, but congratulations to Brookhaven and the win tonight. And who knows, they may wind up in Starkville in December. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Sounds like a lot of happy folks down in Lincoln County.
Ooh, boy, I bet.
Most definitely.
Well, go to work, Will.
We going. Talk to y'all later.
Okay, man. Bye-bye. All right, let's get Ty Bowles in here. And if you're watching tonight, you're getting to see Ty's picture down in the left-hand corner of the screen, thanks to Chris Saxon and Ty.
That's a new feature.
That's a new feature, Ty. That's not a good showing tonight for Crystal Springs. What's going on with this team?
I have no roughy idea, Russ. We just can't do anything.
Can't throw the ball, can't run the ball?
We can run the ball, but, I mean, we ain't got a quarterback this year.
Well, you got to have that.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about this game tonight. I mean, obviously it got away early, correct?
As far as I know, the score that I sent you was the one that I got. I have not got an update. So
All
I
right.
don't know the score.
All right. Well, we're up against a break. We'll let you take us out. Go ahead.
Go Dogs! Hook 'em home!
Thanks, Ty. Oh my goodness!
Hey, it's working.
That's
working.
right. Hey, yes,
that part of it's working.
That part of it's working. Mississippi State, man. We got Cliff Barker in the studio with us tonight. He's going to be talking about the game in the second segment tonight. But I'll let you throw a little Mississippi State stuff in there. Big win for last week. I tell you what, everybody's kind of surprised.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that's a team that 60-something new players. You got a team that made the playoff last year in Arizona State coming into Starkville last week, and State didn't do too much, but did just enough to get by. Did enough in the first half, survived in the second half, came back at the end and made the big play to win the ball game. And, unfortunately, I had to go to a couple shower last week and had to watch the game on TV. I was brokenhearted. Wasn't even in Starkville. And now I'm going to get to go tomorrow to watch Alcorn State. So
oh, boy.
I'll get to see, that's what they're saying now. They're saying that State's going to go for the ASU sweep this year.
That's what it would be.
2 for 2 against ASU. So we'll see if that happens tomorrow.
I got a kick out of seeing the picture, George. I don't know if you saw it in the paper, but they had they were trying to get Arizona State used to the cowbells.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so there were 6 coaches ringing cowbells.
That didn't work too well, did it?
6 is probably not the same as 60,000.
That didn't work too well.
Not quite the same effect. Not quite the same effect.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're glad to have Cliff Barker in studio. And when we come back, We're going to talk about Tri-County and Prep.
I feel like this is a little bit of a setup. I like how you bring me in the studio on the heels of, I don't want to ruin too much about it, but it didn't quite go the way of the Rebels tonight. But
but still, they're the Rebels, and we'll talk a little bit about that playing out of classification because they sure did tonight. But I want to remind everyone that tonight's show being made possible by the College Savings Program and David McRae, who is the state treasurer. And I've talked to so many people that are so glad that listen to this show that maybe are in the north part of the state and go to the south part of the state, especially this time of year, and they've either watched the show on FNUTL.com or they've listened to it on MPB, and they hear about this college saving program. And I say every week, where was this when I was raising two daughters?
They didn't have it back then.
What a great thing David McRae
You just
did.
came along too soon.
So, make sure that you go to their website. They're going to be with us all year, and they're a great sponsor on Friday Night Under the Lights. And I was talking to Brian today, and he brought out a great point. There's a lot of grandparents that listen to this show because they don't get to go to the games for whatever reason. So they listen to Friday Night on the Lights, and what a great Christmas present deal that situation is for them.
Yeah.
Get the kid the fire truck. I mean, that's okay. But think about his college, too.
Little contribution. It wouldn't hurt.
The parents would like opening that one. So check it out. That is the Mississippi College Savings Program. Thank you so much for sponsoring Friday Night Under the Lights. We will take a timeout. When we come back, Mike Peterson, who's probably going to be a short report, talking about Hattiesburg, Brandon Davis from Warren Central, but in studio, Cliff Barker, the voice of Tri-County. Keep it right here. Friday Night Under the Lights continues in a moment.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Think radio. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services. Rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
If the money's yours, you should have it. That's why State Treasurer David McRae has returned a record $80 million in unclaimed money to Mississippians. And there's hundreds of millions more, maybe with your name on it. Check the list. Visit www.treasury.ms.gov and see if you have any of the unclaimed money. Each year, banks, utilities, businesses, brokers, and insurance companies turn over millions of dollars to the state because they're not sure who is entitled to the funds. Treasurer McRae has an entire unclaimed money staff waiting to take your claim and return your money. Check the list today. Treasury.ms.gov.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights, made possible tonight by Malone Roofing. And, of course, we are here at the MPB Studios in Jackson, Mississippi. And want to thank them for carrying the show all across the state on those big old towers they got over there. What I tell everybody is go to the far left on your radio and hit scan. You're going to find this show somewhere. And if you could go to FNUTL.com. We are video streaming. We're also on Roku. We're on Fire Stick. We're on Facebook. And there's one other one that escapes. Oh, YouTube. Dr. Dave's got us on YouTube. So
And YouTube is also where the archives are. Let's tell people that. If you miss the show, want to stay up really late, you can watch it again on YouTube.
I think I'll do that when I go home tonight. This is going to not be a long call, Mike Peterson from the Hattiesburg Tigers. We talked about this, or we texted about it early today, and you were kind of concerned about how salty these guys were going to be from Oak Grove.
I did. I'm just going to say this.
You what?
Off tonight, so I'll talk to y'all next week.
That's about as short as report as we've ever had. Could you not get offense going tonight, Mike?
We could not. In fact, we did not score an offensive touchdown tonight. Our only points came off of a blocked field goal, and John Tarvin scooped it up and went 70 yards for a touchdown. And that was a scoring for Hattiesburg. Oak Grove took the opening kickoff, marched it down the field, 7-0 early. Then we get the blocked field goal, score, and after that, Oak Grove just scored, I guess, 41 unanswered points and won 48-7. So not a good night for the Tigers. And we chit-chatted earlier today, and I said this about Oak Grove: 0-2. They were either going to do two things. They could still be down in the dumps and they could fold, or they could come out like a wounded animal and just fight. And unfortunately, did animal come out and fight?
Well, a tough night for the Tigers. I got to ask you real quickly. Oak Grove, of course, was struggling earlier this year. You always hate to compare other teams against the current team, but is this Oak Grove team as good as the teams that have been in Jackson in the championship game?
That's going to be hard to tell. You really don't know what Oak Grove how they'll respond next week. You know, this could have been just one of them things where they were just really fired up, and Hattiesburg came out lethargic. But I think Oak Grove plays like the defending 4A champs from Louisiana next week. I'm not really sure, but they got two out-of-state teams coming up to close out their non-region play. So Oak Grove, they definitely look like they were back tonight. That's for sure. Just a very bad night for the Tigers, and we're going to not even watch the game film on this one. We're going to get ready for a very much improved Biloxi team this week. I heard they gave PPU fits tonight.
Really? Well, this is one of those deals you just got to flush it and go on.
You do. That's one of them things, and every team at some point in another is just not going to have it all, and we'll regroup next week.
All right, Mike. I appreciate you calling in and giving us the details on it. We'll talk to you next week, my friend.
Okay, y'all have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, Mike. All right.
Speaking of Picayune,
yes,
they mentioned that, but Picayune did beat Biloxi 23-14. So that game was pretty close, and that was at Picayune.
And we'll be talking. Is that Picayune? We'll be talking with Tommy Upton a little bit later on the show. Joining us now is Cliff Parker from Tri-County, and Cliff's in the studio with us tonight, and I invited him to come up here. He was at prep tonight. Now, Cliff, this is a Tri-County team that's loaded with tradition and loaded with state championships, and I happen to think they could get back there in that game again this year. They played out of the they're a 3A, right?
Correct.
All
They're
right.
a 3A,
and,
yes.
and they took on a 6A team. There's a huge difference between 6 and 3, is there not?
Yeah, and technically, with the way the classification is set up this year, Prep is still a 4A team this year. It's technically a 4A team, but they're considered part of the Big Four. So it's very important for a school like Tri-County to play teams in that region, because this year power points mean more than ever, because
Right.
in MAIS in 3A, if you want to be Division 1 in the Division 1 championship, you need to be in the top 4. If you play one of the Big 4 schools, Hartfield, MRA, Prep, or JA, you get a 32-point power point boost, and that's huge. So win or lose tonight, it was a win for the Rebels as far as potential playoff
Right.
seeding in the future. But Tri-County did take the loss tonight. And, you and I have discussed all week how things were going to go. And there were questions with Prep this year. A lot of only 2 returning starters, a lot of new faces. Tri-County with a lot of new faces as well, but a lot of talent in a lot of places. But I kind of felt like tonight that Tri-County just kind of got caught up in the moment a little bit, especially in the second quarter. Hung with Prep through the first. It was a very good game. Second quarter, the game got away a bit, and right at the end of the second quarter, Tri-County had a chance to get back in the ball game, threw an interception, and then was able to score with under less than 2 minutes.
Oh,
left.
that's like a minute 35, something like that, yeah.
But then committed the cardinal sin, let Prep march down and score in the waning moments of that second quarter and stretch it back out to a 3-touchdown lead. And the Rebels just couldn't get it together after that. Just a tough loss for Tri-County tonight, but I think a big building moment for the program, because the first time since way back in the early days of the MAIS or the MPSA that Tri-County has played one of the Big Four. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and I look forward to hosting you out at Tri-County next year.
Oh, we're looking forward to coming. I tell you, one of the things that you look for bright spots in this game.
Oh, I've got a few I can mention. I do.
But I think, to me, they were getting 5 and 6 yards on every first down.
Yeah.
And where they struggled was in that 3rd and short and a couple of times 4th and short. But they would get the 5 and 6 yards to start with, but they couldn't finish off and get a first down.
Well, my partner Spence Shepard and I tonight were talking. I think that at certain times in the game, it almost looked like Cooper Johnson, the quarterback for Tri-County, almost overthought it just a little bit. Like, he's a very strong runner. Sometimes, and he's a kid that typically puts that shoulder down and leans forward, but it almost looked like he had a few second thoughts tonight. And I think that's to do with level of competition a little bit. But, a player I think it's worth mentioning tonight too, really, Tri-County has 2 great defensive ends, Cruz Albritton and Bryce Brooks. Until the cramps got to Bryce Brooks, he's an unstoppable force.
Unstoppable.
He was our player of the game tonight. He had a couple of sacks. He had a strip sack with a forced fumble. He's a kid that's just got a high motor and does very well. But I think what you saw tonight, and as I said, I promised I wouldn't come in here and make excuses, because I'm not. We took the loss tonight, and that's good. That's fine. But the numbers for Prep just became too much to combat at the end, and you saw cramps became an issue for the Rebels late in the game, and the game just kind of got away. But I think it was a big step for the program to step up to that level of competition, and I think that this could be one of those games that helps this Rebel team greatly as the season goes on, facing lower level competition.
I totally agree with you, and I want to thank you for coming by tonight and spending a little time with us, especially in the first segment. And we're going to keep an eye on this Tri-County team. We get your reports every week, and again, I think when all the dust settles, you'll be in that championship game, and I think Cooper Johnson's going to be one of the reasons that you're in that game.
I
looked like he pressed a little bit tonight on some of his throws because he had receivers out there, but he was just pressing a little bit.
I want to mention one other thing before we move on from that. One thing I was impressed with Prep that I want to commend you guys and Coach Goodwin on, and what he does with that ball team. Great defensive back play tonight. And I know you've got some new faces back there at defensive back, but what I saw out of that Prep squad is I saw defensive backs for Prep really take advantage of press coverage, push those receivers to the sidelines, use the sideline as another defender, and almost shut down those Tri-County receivers. Cooper threw some great balls over the top, but the Prep coverage using that sideline was so oppressive we couldn't get receivers out in the open. And had you been able to make a couple of shots downfield, might have opened things up, but the Rebels just couldn't get it together tonight.
Cliff, we thank you for coming by. You do a great job over there for Tri-County. I talk to people all the time, and they're just so pleased with their broadcasts over there. I appreciate you coming in every Friday night, making us a part of your Friday night.
Yeah, it was great to be here, and I hope to get right back in that rhythm next week. I'm making it quick and easy, where I tell you about how big we won by. That's what I want to. That's my favorite call. That's what I like to do.
We'll look forward to that favorite call. Thanks, Cliff.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, is Brandon Davis so in the land?
Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, Warren Central Vikings tonight. Tell me what happened.
Well, first off, I can't believe you're making me go after Cliff. He just does such a good job.
Oh, come on, Brandon. Come on, man.
We're playing one against the other tonight.
I tell you, just a fantastic guy over there, what he does. You're right. But we had a track meet here tonight at Warren Central. Warren Central wins this ball game 52-41 over Germantown. The opening play of the ball game, Nash Morgan, a 66-yard touchdown to Mike Hall. Warren Central took a 28-7 lead into the half, but Germantown, King White had 5 touchdowns tonight for Germantown, and the losing effort was phenomenal. Nash Morgan had 4 touchdowns for Warren Central, but 58 points scored in the second half, and Warren Central was able to walk away with a 52-41 win. But two teams offensively that played extremely well. Obviously, defense, you're going to have to clean some things up. But it was back and forth all night in the fourth quarter, and tip your cap to Germantown, down 28-0. They could have really just rolled over and got on the bus, but they fought back, and a lot for Coach Mitchell and that bunch from Gluckstadt to be proud of tonight to build on as they go into the season.
Well, this is a Warren Central team, Brandon, that a lot of people just hadn't figured out yet. Because, the opening season loss to Clinton. This is a big win for the Vikings tonight.
Huge win. And I'll tell you, I hadn't figured them out.
And you're calling them.
We lose 45-13 to Clinton. It was and give credit to Clinton. But then last week go to Pearl, beat them 28-0. And then tonight come out and take a 28-0 lead. And able to continue to fight. We had some injuries on defense tonight. We had some silly personal fouls that I know Coach Morgan will clean up. But this team is fighting, and they're getting hot when they need to.
It's the name of the game. Brandon, thanks so much, bud. We'll talk to you next week, find out what those Vikings do.
Hey, all the best to you guys. Take care.
Thank you, Brandon. Brandon Davis, voice of the Warren Central Vikings. That'll bring us to our break, and I want to remind you that tonight's show being made possible by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket. We'll be back.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
At Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we tell local stories that matter. Educational and entertaining television, radio, news, and podcasts. We have something for everyone. So tune in and enjoy all we have to offer. Every day, MPB, your stories, our mission.
Informative MPB news stories, up-to-date severe weather info, and a state and worldwide reach telling the story of Mississippi on MPB Think Radio.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights, made possible tonight by Cricket Wireless, and we thank them for that. George, we got some scores because we're going to go to Jake Wimberly here in just a moment and talk about the Brandon game.
Sure. Let's pick up some games we'd not given you before. Grenada shut out Callaway 28-0 tonight. It was D'Iberville over Seminary 49-21. We mentioned this one just a few moments ago, but Warren Central outscored Germantown 52-41, the final there. Gulfport beat Laurel 17-14. It was Hazelhurst beating Natchez 15-6. Kosciuszko won their third game of the year. They beat Leake Central tonight 49-7. Mentioned this one earlier, probably the game of the night so far, but in overtime, Brookhaven edges Madison Central 20-17. That's a 5A school beating a 7A school. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
Northwest Rankin won tonight, beating Wayne County 24-14. Here's your game. Poplarville over Hancock 60-54. So
Hancock's got a pretty good program down there. That's a big win tonight for Poplarville.
Yeah, that's a good win for Poplarville. Ridgeland defeated Vicksburg 48-22. Moss Point won tonight. They beat Stanislaus 24-14. And Mendenhall over South Pike 20-12.
All right. Let's remind everyone that we'll be here until midnight tonight. And so if you by the way, we understand we're having a little, and I'm going to bring our producer, Chris Saxon, back in. We're having trouble with the tower for MPB here in Jackson, correct?
In Jackson. The other 6
are good.
All doing great. So,
okay.
And we just haven't heard if it's up yet. But you ready for Jake?
Yeah, let's talk to Jake Wimberly. Jake.
Gentlemen, how in the world are you?
We're about as good as you are tonight. That's a tough win for you guys tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, Russ, it was one of those deals where, it was a line of scrimmage game, and the defensive lines were the best, best groups on the bunch, so to speak. Clinton, really good up front. You see why they were 2-0. Young team, really physical, but this game was marred with a lot of turnovers. Clinton had 5 interceptions tonight. They threw 5 interceptions. The Bulldog defensive secondary was ball hogs. Eli Morey had 3 of those interceptions. Preston Ashley had 1. And then I think a defensive lineman might have picked one up off a tip. But, look, Bulldog offense couldn't get going tonight. C.J. Campbell, who was a senior running back, played in place of injured Tyson Robinson. He had 151 yards on about 14 carries. That was the difference in the game. Sladen Shack did throw a touchdown. It's one of those games, guys, it was a very ugly game. It was a very quick game. It was the 81st edition of this Clinton-Brandon rivalry. It did not, It did not mirror last year's 65-62 game. It went, as a matter of fact, completely opposite. But these two, look, when these two communities get together, it's a healthy rivalry. It's a fun rivalry. But these two teams, they get after each other, and they did tonight.
I bet it's slow getting back off of Highway 18 tonight.
Oh, it was. A packed crowd. Clinton brings a good crowd wherever they go. Bulldogs showed up. So, yeah, it was a very good crowd, great atmosphere, just always fun when the Clinton Arrows and the Bulldogs get together.
Jake, how long is Robinson out for?
Unofficially, Russ, and they're not really saying. We think we'll get him back in the next 2 to 3 weeks. He should be back either the week before region play or the first weekend of region play.
Well, and you and I have talked about this, what we call the preseason before you get into region play. And, you look at Madison Central's schedule, which they went down tonight, to a Brookhaven team. Wow, what a win for them. But you got Clinton and Brandon and Warren Central, all these schools, Pearl. It's a brutal schedule just in Central Mississippi.
Oh, it's extremely brutal. Just about everybody's playing somebody good every week. And, I don't want to say it gives everybody a false sense of who other teams are, but you may look at somebody that one ugly, say Brandon, and go, well, they're not as good as they were last year. They're barely winning ball games, but at least you're winning ball games. Or you lose a close ball game. Well, maybe they're not so good. We see this every year. These teams, especially in the 6s and 7A classifications, beat up on each other. You may finish. I mean, look, if you go 5-0 in the non-region schedule, then you've done pretty well. That's a rarity. But,
yeah.
You know, we've seen teams win 2 games, 3 games, and then make runs come region play. So, you know, this is the equivalent of just a gauntlet non-conference schedule that a lot of teams play in basketball, for instance, to get their RPIs up.
Yep.
Well, these teams are playing these types of games to get ready for region play. And I think most coaches are figuring out who their players are, and they do it during this time of the year.
But you know, Jake, and another thing, I mean, if you go undefeated in non-region play, in effect, it doesn't mean a whole lot when you get to region play. So those are the games that really count.
Oh, no doubt. Look, what we saw several years ago, I believe either Peterson or Bobby Hall was still the coach at Madison Central. They started at 1-4, I believe, in non-region play, and everybody said, well, they're done for the year, and they made a run to North State.
Yep.
Look, Laurel and Ryan Ernest a couple years ago, they were left for dead. They went 8-5 and made it to the state championship. So that's the beautiful thing about high school football in this state is we don't really know, believe it or not, right now who's the best and who is not, and we've still got several weeks to kind of unpack all that.
Well, where are you going to be next week? At home?
No, Russ, we are headed east, young man. We are going across the state line to Clay Chalkville, Alabama, about 40 minutes north of Birmingham to take on one of the best teams in 6A football.
Ooh. Who put that on the schedule?
Well, you can talk to Coach Pogue, and he says, hey, I appreciate Coach Williams teeing us up before he got out of here for that.
By the way, I was going to ask before I let you go, how is it having Lance Pogue over there?
Oh, look, Lance is a joy. You know Lance better than we do. I mean, Lance is a super coach, a super guy. He cares for the kids. He's an old school guy, but Lance is doing a good job, and it's a joy to be working with him and to be working with a guy that has the knowledge of football that he has.
Well, you be sure to give him my best, and I will see you at lunch sometime next week.
Yes, we're going to make it happen. You have my word.
All right, thanks, Jake.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much.
You know, I don't mean this in a derogatory sense, but it wouldn't be a bad thing to be Lance Pogue's real estate person. He's moved around a little bit.
Yeah, and he's done well everywhere he's been. But I'll tell you, that was a great hire on Brandon's part.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, obviously. He's been a lot of different places, and he's either won or made the team a lot better when he's been there, for sure.
Well, speaking about a lot better team,
Tommy Upton's on the phone.
Tommy Upton has one. He's got Picayune. You guys run a dogfight tonight.
Yeah, we were just listening to you guys talk to Jake about that gauntlet that they're running through, and Picayune kind of does the same thing every year, right? We run through this 7A gauntlet down here in the South, and ran into a really, really good Biloxi team. I said the same thing about Gulfport 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it about Biloxi. Biloxi's got a really good football team. They've got some talent. They struggled a bit defensively. Picayune was able to run the football at will and get some big chunks, but I tell you what, they've got some firepower on offense, and they're going to make some noise down here in 7A.
Tommy, Picayune has always had a great running game with guys like Quick Chris Davis and I mean the list is just long. The Knicks at night, I mean it goes back a long way. Is that the case this year? Do they have that breakaway back, that guy that can turn it on at any time?
Well, it's a little bit different this year, Russ, and that's something that we were talking about on the air the last couple of games. Generally we got that back. And if you go back just recently, a few years ago, you got Dante Dowdell,
right,
who's now running for Kentucky. Then after him, you had Chris Davis, and you got Darrell Smith, who's running for ULL. So you've got some really, really good backs coming out of the last 5 or 6 years. This year, we've got some underclassmen running the football. It's kind of running by committee. We've got a junior named Dennis that is really, really fast. The problem is just not very big, and so, we worry about him longevity, carrying the ball 25, 30 times a game. But the good news is we got 2 guys that can carry the load with him, and so we're able to rotate in two actually cousins named Hawthorne, and all 3 of them got about 15, 16 carries tonight. Carried the ball over 350 yards. So it's kind of by committee, but what Dennis lacks in size, he makes up for in speed.
Yeah.
He broke one tonight. If he gets a step on, he's gone. He's one of those guys.
Would you categorize him as a scat back?
We would, but Picayune doesn't run that offense, right?
Yeah,
you're
right.
not run the power, and you better put your shoulder down. And he had to learn that the first game. He ran into the line a few times in between the tackles with his head up high, and he got turned upside down. So he learned pretty quickly that if you're 150 pounds, put your shoulder down when you go in between the tackles, right? So he learned quickly, and now he gets down when he goes in between the tackle, and he gets down when he tries to get out of bounds. So yeah, you learn those hard lessons quickly.
What's up next for the Maroon Tide?
Man, we just travel this gauntlet again. We take on Ocean Springs, which by most polls or put them at the top, of the South down here. So it doesn't get any easier. Tide's looking to improve to 4-0 next week as the Greyhounds come to Lee Triplet Stadium. This will be a good one.
Well, I would say that playing there at Picayune, is going to be a plus for you. But if you could play close or even beat the Greyhounds, it would tell you a lot about your football team.
No doubt. Just like James was talking about, we run through this gauntlet every year, and we're almost relieved to get to region play, right? We can play some people our size. So that's kind of the same way. Yeah, we've 3-0 so far. We've got Ocean Springs, and then we've got Poplarville next, before we really get started in region play. So, yeah, we've definitely been building up to this. Gulfport's really good. Biloxi's really good. North Shore wasn't bad at all last week, but we'll really see what we're made of next week with Ocean Springs.
All right, Tommy, I'm going to cut you loose. I know you want to go to bed, right?
Absolutely. I want to finish eating.
Well, we appreciate you making us part of your Friday night. Congratulations on the win, and we're going to want to know what happens next week.
Looking forward to it. Thanks,
all righty.
guys.
Thank you. Tommy Upton. That Roll Tide. You got to sneak that Roll Tide in there.
Yeah.
Tommy
they need to roll tomorrow.
Woo! Who they got tomorrow?
I think they got Wisconsin, don't they?
Yes, they do. Wisconsin. The Badgers.
Like at 11 o'clock or something.
Down there.
Yeah.
It's going to be 95 degrees. Badgers are going to love that.
Yeah, they're going to love that. Yeah. Get a taste of that.
Ooh-wee. All right, any scores that have come in?
Well, yeah, I've got some that I haven't given. South Panola got their first win, actually. They beat South Haven tonight, 34-19. Let's see, St. Martin beat Stone 21-3. Mitt County beat Resurrection 28-6. Let's see. Forest defeated Perry Central 47-6. It was Strayhorn beating Smithville 34-14. Terry got their third win. They defeated North Pike 35-6. And one more, West Point remains undefeated. They defeated tonight Noxubee County tonight in a close game, 27-20.
Ooh. Well, that's probably one of the closer games West Point will play this year.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we're going to step aside and take a break. Don't forget tonight's show being made possible by Mississippi's Unclaimed Money. We're gonna have Lee in one night. You and I are going to go to the computer and find out if anybody owes us anything.
I need some. That's for darn sure.
We're going to take a time out. More Friday Night on the Lights in a moment. Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today.
Dominion is a scorching family drama that centers around a powerful church family in a small fictional town in the Mississippi Delta. Be sure to catch the Arts Hour this Sunday and every Sunday at 5 p.m. on MPB Think Radio. You can also find us on the MPB website or your favorite place to listen to podcasts.
Connect with the people looking to connect with you. Become an underwriter with Mississippi Public Broadcasting. For more information, go to mpbonline.org/more/underwriting.
This is MPB Think Radio. Mississippi is our mission.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ Robinson along with George Broadstreet, our producer, Chris Saxon, Ty Bailey on the phone tonight. Liz is engineering for MPB tonight. She's back over our shoulder.
Good to see Liz
It
tonight.
is great always to see Liz.
Yeah.
She's so good at what she does, and runs this ship.
Keeps you straight, Hand up.
She runs a tight ship. And then, tonight we've had in-studio guest, Granny. Makes it into the studio tonight. He was not in the sticks tonight. He's actually here. We're going to be talking to him in a little bit.
Right.
But right now, Gregory, Pearl Pirates score some points tonight and win.
Russell.
How are you?
Arr!
The pirate's back.
The pirate is back.
The Pirates found their way into the win column. How about that?
Oh, and beat a pretty good program.
They did. They kind of whooped up on to Florence tonight, 39-0. It was watching the offense grow up a little bit. They're finally figuring out what they want to do. Threw the ball a little bit more tonight. Scored on some really big plays: 80 yards, 70 yards, 50 yards. And then I think they just wore Florence down. The Pirate defense is so good. And a lot of penalties tonight. You thought it'd be a little more cleaned up in the third game of the year, but either the teams really did. I'll go back and watch the film, and either the teams really committed the penalties or the referees had a weird obsession with their handkerchiefs tonight. So
maybe they're on commission. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of both. They just really,
at this point in the season, though, Greg, you're right. I mean, a lot of what were the penalties like? Offsides or in motion?
You had defense jumping. You had a lot of holding calls tonight. Not so many pass interference, I don't think, but it was just the ones that were lazy kind of penalties.
Yeah.
Anytime you get all those holding calls, that's just linemen being lazy, and that was on both sides of the ball. And, I'm very impressed. Florence's quarterback, Ashley, is really, really good. Man, can he throw the ball far. I think he could throw it 70 yards in the air.
Woo!
He's got a strong arm.
Does he have anybody throw it to?
He does. I mean, he's just got to work on some accuracy. He could throw it really far, but it goes really far over the heads of his receivers.
So he got a great arm. All right, a big win for Pearl tonight. Now, you have this gauntlet that the Pirates go through as well, as we were talking with Jake Wimberly about it. What's up next for you guys?
Next week we go to Clinton. So that should be a very good test. Coach Schooler certainly did not schedule lightly this year. With Warren Central, Madison Central, and Clinton, 3 out of your first 4 games, and you had that Rankin County showdown tonight with Florence coming up. So they're getting better against good competition, and that's what you want to see. These teams that in the past I've seen a Pearl team go 5-0 in non-conference, right, and then just struggle in district.
Yeah,
and you'd rather have your team 2-3 and working hard and getting better every week,
learning,
than just beating up on cream puffs because that doesn't get you ready.
Nope. Never does. Well,
but Jack Durr, a great game tonight. Can't say enough about the Pirate defense. Hopefully they're putting things together. We'll find out next week if they can keep it up.
Where is that game? Over there?
It's at Clinton, yes. It's on the red field.
I tell you what, it'll be a big crowd over there because you guys travel pretty well, so that'll be a big one. Greg, have a great week. By the way, how did Jack do in his game this week?
they had a tough one with Northwest Rankin, and a rain cloud never left the field. It just rained the whole game over the Pearl High School. That was a really good game with Northwest Rankin. But this week they play Byram in 8th grade, so we're looking forward to that.
All right. Well, we will talk with you next week, my friend.
You got it, MIZ.
Yes. They're in the top 25, bud.
They're back.
They're back. Thanks, Greg. We're talking about Mizzou, of course.
Yeah.
That's his. He loves those Tigers.
Ray Coleman.
Ray, you got 9 points in that ball game, and they were tough to come by.
Yeah, no question. Player of the game for the Clinton Arrows is the kicker, Braylon Spann, 3 for 3. It was a tough matchup, man, but I will tell you, final score 14-9, Brandon wins. It was a tough matchup, but it was also a sloppy game for the Arrows. 6 turnovers on the night, including 5 interceptions. You just can't have that. You know, if you cut that deficit in half in terms of your turnovers, if you just have 3 and you flip those into field goals, you win the game. Now, if was a 5th, you would be 3-0. So you have to make sure that you do what you need to do, especially on the road, and it just wasn't the Arrows' night.
Ray, there was a lot made about the fact that, you know, Joseph Walker was your quarterback last year, and he's gone, and you had another young man step in. This was a really big test for him tonight, but wow, 5 interceptions in one game? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I call it growing pains, man, and nobody hates to see it more than the young man who threw the picks. I'm talking about Jaden Jones, our starting quarterback now. You can see the disappointment on his face, but you have to understand this is his 4th start ever.
Wow.
In week 3, and he started 1 game last year for Joseph last year. So we're talking about a young man who's a sophomore who's still learning to play the position. And I just look at it like these type of games, they either draw you or drive you, man. They make you better if you're a competitor because you don't want to let that happen again, or you kind of go into a shell. And I just think this young man, for all the talent, the moxie that he has, he's going to be fine. It's just it happened in the worst possible way, but now he can only go up from here.
Well, you're right. And, you know, the fact that there were 5 picks and they only scored 14 points, your defense played a heck of a night.
The defense travels, man, and I keep telling folks this. I don't care who Clinton plays this year. I think they're always going to have an opportunity to be in the game because of the defense. The down linemen are extraordinary in both the run game and the passing game. If they ever get you on a 3rd and long, they got you, man, because that pass rush is unstoppable. We just got to be a little bit more complimentary there. And like I said, that's a team effort. That's something that Coach Morgan and his staff will get them back on track with next week. We have no doubt about that. We have homecoming next week versus the Pearl Pirates, and so it'll be a great opportunity for the Arrows to kind of work out some kinks, but also hopefully get back on the winning track.
All right, Ray. Thanks so much, brother. You got the Pearl Pirates coming in. We'll want to hear about that ball game next week.
No question, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, man. And, of course, Ray Coleman.
Tommy Barnett.
Who
did J.A. beat up on tonight?
Well, we took a quick little trip to Greenville and played Greenville Christian. And it was 45-0 at the half.
Ooh.
The score, it was very indicative of what happened. I mean, Jay was very dominant. Of course, Greenville St. Joe has had a really good program. Coach Baker has done a great job, won 5 state championships, I believe, in the last 9 years. So not a slouch of a program, but just a down year for them. And, of course, I think Jay's special this year, guys.
Well, yeah, they are special this year.
What was the final there, Tommy?
45-7.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to me about your starting running back. A lot of people are talking about this young man.
Well, it's, Kingston MAIS is the one that's the starter, and then you've got Eric Beasley. It's a two-headed monster, Russ. It's one's kind of the lightning, and the other one's kind of the thunder.
Ooh.
He's more of you're going to run him between the tackles, and it's very rare that he, doesn't fall forward. MAIS is more of your, zigzag, one cut, get north and south, a lot more explosive speed.
Well, I tell you, they're a very explosive offensive team, and obviously your defense is playing pretty well because you shut people out, and I'm hearing that the secondary. We all know the defensive line's pretty good, but that secondary this year very stingy.
Yeah, I think the defense is really, really good. The offense is, the offense is when they go against a team that has a pulse defensively. That's what I'm anxious to kind of see, and I'm glad we're through this 3-game stretch to start the year because the rubber meets the road starting next Friday night in Flowood.
Who you got next week?
Hartfield.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
That's
right.
Two big games next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Prep will be at MRA and you'll be at Hartfield.
That's exactly right.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Sure doesn't.
We will talk to you for sure after that one, Tommy.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too, bro.
All right.
Wow. Those will be two really good games.
You got a chance? You got time for one score?
Yeah, absolutely.
Columbia beat Hartfield in week 1, I believe it was. They beat Petal tonight, 32-7.
Ooh, Harold's not going to like that. Wow, be leery. Well,
I got you an upset. South Jones 38, West Jones 35.
Whoa!
They won it on the last play of the game.
We'll talk about it when we come back. Timeout. Tonight's show made possible by State Treasurer David McRae.
Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job, and my new roof looks great.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
1 in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov. Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ Robinson with you along with George Broadstreet. Chris Saxon is producing tonight. Ty Bailey is taking your calls at 877-672-7464. If you'd like to maybe call and talk to us about your high school. Maybe we haven't covered them, and you got a chance. They get as much airtime as anybody else when you give us a call here, and we'd like to find out. George is hunting down all the scores he can, and before we go to, I think Jared, is Jared Shots on yet?
Not yet, but there's somebody coming up.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
let's get some scores done, and then we'll go to who? John Weaver?
Well, I don't know who it is.
Oh, okay.
I just know,
Ty's letting you know.
Coming.
It's coming.
All right. I don't see a name.
Ty's a little long-winded.
All right. Who do we got?
All right. Let me give you some that we have not given before. Ocean Springs defeated Pascagoula 21-14. Mentioned this one just at the last of the top of the hour there. Columbia defeated Pebble 32-7. That was at Columbia. Poplarville outscored Hancock 60-54. That's your kind of game, right there.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah, Ridgeland defeated Vicksburg 48-22. Moss Point beat St. Stanislaus 24-14. It was Mendenhall beating South Pike 20-12. Starkville got back on the winning track. They defeated Meridian tonight 44-6. It was Terry over North Pike 35-6. Mentioned this one earlier. West Point over Noxubee County 27-20. Calhoun City won again. They're undefeated. They defeated Winona tonight 42-33. Some MAIS games of interest. Mentioned this a moment ago, but Jackson Academy beat Greenville St. Joe 45-7. MRA beat Collierville, Tennessee tonight 62-37. Another kind of basketball score. Park Lane, they're undefeated. They defeated Oak Forest tonight 35-12. Jackson Prep over Tri-County 45-6. Leak Academy got back on the winning track, beating Winona Christian 35-7. Let me see. Let me give you a couple more. Mentioned this one earlier. Brandon over Clinton 14-9. Grenada beat Callaway 28-0. And Collins beat Mount Olive 21-8.
Okay, we got Jared Schatz on the line, and I believe Ty's getting ready to get John Weaver on the line, so we'll find out about that MRA victory. But, Jared, you got to call a really good football game tonight.
Well, it just depends on who you ask.
Not you.
Yeah, tough ball game. 241. All the credit in the world to Warren Central, 28-0 right out of the gate. And, Germantown was, all the kids were told all week how good they were after they really put it on Oak Grove last week. And took us a little while to wake up. And, hey, hold on, Russ. It looks like Nash Morgan just passed me on the interstate and scored again.
He's good about that.
Oh, he was incredible tonight. I tell you that the junior quarterback for Warren Central, lights out. It's not Warren Central without 55 Morgans in the stands.
That's right. That's right.
On the field. That young man's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. And I don't know what his official yardage was, but he ran for easily over 100 yards. I would say Warren Central was easily over 300 yards rushing tonight.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, just for us to get off the mat, being down 28-0, the Mavs fought hard tonight. But after that big win last week, coming down to earth is a good thing before we play Neshoba next week at home.
Well, and we had Brandon Davis on earlier, and he made that statement. He said, we were up 28-0, and he said Germantown could have just folded right there and just said, hey, we're hitting the highway, but they didn't, and they came back, and he was very impressed with the Mavericks.
Well, guys, I tried to fight the bus driver and take the keys from him. I was ready to load up on the bus myself the way it was going. But Germantown fought hard. King White had 5 touchdowns tonight. He's really been outstanding at quarterback, especially after his performance last week.
Yeah.
He doesn't turn the football over. He really takes care of the football. We've got to get tougher in the trenches, especially as we get into District 2 7A. Here in about a month. And Coach said that. He said, we've got the guys. We've just got to bring the dog out of them. And yeah, they're going to have to get tougher in the trenches. And I think we've got the skill guys. We can run the football, but, defensively, we've got to stop the run better. And tonight, that's where Warren Central feasted.
Well, everybody knows by now that you're going to be carrying the championship games on MPB Think Radio in December when they have the state championships. But also, I had some people say, "Hey, you talked to Jared about his show, but ask him to tell us a little bit about it. You've got a show running; it's a really good one, and it's content that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Tell me about it."
Yeah, I appreciate it, Russ. Varsity Voices podcast, you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and it's also, we have the video version on YouTube. And, man, it's just a bunch of friends, a lot of the guys you've already talked to tonight, Jake Wimberly, Brandon Davis, Caleb Hamill. we'll call in here. And you know, Cliff Barker, I mean, he calls the championship games with us. We're all buddies, man, just talking ball. And we got to get Cliff. And man, if you guys want to join us, come on. We want some great guests on. We'll take anybody and everybody that loves high school football like we do. But, man, we just try to preview ball games. We'll have instant reaction, and we're friends, so we like to rib each other. And I hate to say it, I'm going to be the number one pinata this week because Brandon Davis and Warren Central whipped us pretty good at Germantown. But, yeah, tune in. If you like high school football, we crown a player of the week. I don't know if you guys heard this. I heard Ty Keys at Poplarville had 8 touchdowns tonight.
Well, they put 60 on the scoreboard.
Well, he must have scored all 60 the way it sounded. So just an incredible performance. But, yeah, he's definitely a candidate for Player of the Week, and we'll have a Player of the Week interview every week. But, look, we're just having fun with it. You love high school football, and so do we.
Sounds good, Jared. Thanks so much for calling in. We'll talk to you next week, and have a great weekend, my friend.
You too, Russ. Appreciate you guys.
All righty.
John Weaver.
Oh, John, you go into Memphis over to Collierville, which is a public school, big school.
Largest one in Tennessee.
Largest one in Tennessee. Nice facility.
Unbelievable.
And you whip them.
Well, they got their feelings hurt, for sure.
That may be the best description I've ever heard of anyone on a big win like that. I'm laughing, but I won't be laughing in 7 days. Perhaps got to come see you guys next week. Tell me, obviously, John, everything was clicking tonight. You were feeding me the score, and you guys had jumped out early and often. Is this a pass first, run second team for MRA, or pass second but run first team? Which is it?
I really can't tell because the ground game was running well tonight. I mean, you start off the game, Collierville misses a 30-yard field goal. We get the possession. Our first possession, we go up 7-0. They come back at 7-3. Then they go up 10-7. We go up 14-10, 21-17 at the half. All right. Well,
pretty good ball game at that point.
Yeah, great ball game. And MRA just kind of explodes. 28-17, 35-17. Well, then it gets tight, 35-31. They have 2 possessions. One of them's a punt return for a touchdown and then a 67-yard scamper. So it's 35-31. So you have a ball game.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter starts 42, 49, 55, 62. And then at the end of the game, James Downer blindsides the quarterback, and we get a sack, fumble, return for a touchdown. Would have been 68, but there was a penalty for a block in the back. They call it back. So it ends at 62-37. But I'll tell you this. They're very balanced. And I think what Herbert's best strength is he plays and calls plays to how his teams are. And that goes with any coach. Mm-hmm. But Russ, you rushed for 3-0-for-3 last week. I think they rushed for 250 tonight and probably put 250 in the air. It's one of those things that you better be ready. But I will equate this, and this probably is going to be really bad. It might come back to haunt us next year. But do you remember when Dan Mullen coached at Mississippi State?
Sure.
And he came out one game against Florida, or maybe not Florida, but he wore shorts. Do you remember that?
I do.
Now, look, I haven't coached a high school football game in 4 games, right? Since my pseudo-retirement. Like Jordan with 45. I think I can come back anytime.
That's right.
But they coached in shorts tonight.
Really?
And, look, it's not really that hot, but I thought about that, and it's just a different feel.
Yeah.
And I thought about Dan Mullen that night. I was like, I think they're about to get their tail whooped. And we went up to Tennessee, and, we're playing the hardest schedule, I think, in the whole state of Mississippi. you start out with Ravenwood out of Tennessee, who's tops in Tennessee, and you lose by 3. You go and you play Jeff Davis, there's Jeff Davis. It's 40. You beat him 47-6.
Yep.
Then you go to Hartfield, 2-time defending state champs. You're in a ball game, 21-all at half, and you win 49-21. And then you go to Carterville tonight. Well, then you have Prep next week. Then you have JA the next week. Then you have Baton Rouge Catholic the next week. Well, then you get the best team on the schedule. You get a bye after that.
That'll be a relief. Wow, what a murderer's row of games. Well, John, we're gonna let you go. We appreciate you staying with us. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. And
Absolutely.
It'll take me about 20 minutes to get up that spiraling staircase, but I'll get up there.
Well, I will treat you to a press box pregame meal next week. Walk-ons is our sponsor, so I will call you during the week and say, hey, what do you want for your press box pregame meal?
That sounds great, John.
Last week, y'all couldn't guess how many times Herbert passed the game. It was 12, right?
Right.
So I got you this week. in the press box, buddy.
All right, man. We appreciate you, John, so much. John Weaver with MRA. Be careful coming home, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Joseph Craven.
All right, you just heard about MRA. You didn't play a team as tough as they did, but it was over early, wasn't it? Joseph there? You with me? You must have a bad connection. Yeah, you're kind of going in and out. Probably need to call again. Hey, Joseph, call again because the connection's not real good. So we'll get you on the next segment. How about that? They did not have a problem with Pillow Academy.
No. The last score I heard was like 42-7. I'm not sure how that ended up, but they didn't have any trouble.
No, and I can't wait to see you talk about big games. I can't wait to see MRA play JA. I mean, that's going to be a slobber knocker. And they've already beaten Hartfield, and Hartfield's defending champion 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And like I say, Prep will be over there next week and take a look up close and personal. And hopefully Joseph will call us back in the next segment. We'll take some calls. We're going to talk to Philip Palmertree, who does Leak Academy. And we'll talk to Harold, who's probably not in a good mood, from Petal, who took it on the chin tonight to Columbia. We'll talk about that. And then we got Granny's in the studio with us tonight.
Yeah, you got Granny in the bullpen.
That's right.
Hey, I got my favorite color here, blue.
That's right.
Blue microphone. My favorite color.
You're all set up. And then, of course, we got the Crazy Eights coming up at 11:30. Going to talk about the 8-man football. It's all happening right here on Friday night under the lights. Made possible tonight by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great follow-up. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.
See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Mississippians love football, and our high schools in South Mississippi like Gulfport, Moss Point, and Ocean Springs stay connected with their students, parents, and community by live streaming events, including football through WSN Live. WSN Live provides your school with everything you need for professional and seamless live streams that are easy for students to run. And your fans can watch online from anywhere on any device. With WSN Live, your school gets the right gear, a rock-solid network, and game-time tech support. Learn more at WSNLive.com.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Got a lot going on tonight. We're going to be, I've still got a lot of folks we're going to talk to. We're also going to talk Crazy Eights, and then Brandon Shields will kind of wrap it up. He was at the Clinton-Brandon game tonight, so we'll get his take on that. Granny was at the Clinton-Brandon. But I'll tell you what, Joseph Craven's he's kind of parked his car, and he's got his arm out the window, and you know, he's getting a signal. Are you with me?
I blame John Weaver. John Weaver did it to me.
Well, yeah, after last week, you could blame John on a lot of things, couldn't you?
That's probably it. Yeah, no, I'm on the road coming back from Greenwood, and so I hit a little dead spot, but we're back in it now. It was 42-13 was the final score. I know George was pondering that earlier. So Pilla got a touchdown towards the end, and so that was the final there. It was a bit of a it was a tune-up game, I suppose, for the Hawks, trying to clean things up and execute better. But, guys, there's really only one story that comes from this game, and I'm going to tell it to you whether you actually want to hear it or not.
Tell it.
But in the third quarter, Hartfield throws a touchdown pass, and a flag is thrown for defensive pass interference. And it was a touchdown, so the coaches say, well, we'll decline the penalty. And the ref says, hey, actually, you don't have to decline the penalty. We'll just put the 15 yards on the ensuing kickoff. And so I've never heard of a declined penalty that gets enforced, but they decided to do that.
It's the Delta,
They
exactly. Do things a little different sometimes.
So then there's another flag thrown on the extra point, and another 15-yard penalty is ascribed to Pillow. So the next kickoff was marked up 30 yards. So Hartfield's kicker is kicking off from the Pillow 30-yard line.
Oh, man. I've never heard of that.
No, never. Oh, no, don't worry. It's not done yet. They decide they're going to try to pooch kick this because they're like, I don't know, if we kick it in the end zone, it's going to look like a field goal attempt. I guess we'll pooch kick it. He pooch kicks it, gets a little too much momentum. It goes out of bounds.
No.
That's a penalty.
That's a penalty.
The officials, took a penalty, but the officials have to go up to the coaching staff and explain, and it took several minutes. They have to figure out exactly how it should be, penalized, and talk to the coaches about it. Well, as it turns out, it has to be typically marked off 25 yards from the spot of the kick. But since it was so far up, they just did it half the distance to the goal line. So somehow, poor Pillow has to start off from their own 15 after Hartfield kicked it out of bounds. So there you go. That sums up the night, I think.
But when you think about it, only starting at the 15 is not bad if the ball was kicked off at your 30.
Exactly. It's a net 15-yard kickoff. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, and I doubt I'll ever see it again.
You're going to have to write a book and put that in it. That's one for the books. All right, now, let's get to brass tacks now. Talk to me about this Hartfield team, because for the past 2 years, you've just run over everybody. Is that the case this year?
The case right now, this is the flat, honest truth, and Coach Craig Bowman will say it the same way. This team has to stop beating themselves first. It's a team that's had a lot of the past couple of weeks has had a lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers. Last week against MRA had multiple red zone appearances that resulted in no points. And so it's stuff like that can't linger if they want to push for another possible title charge. That being said, the talent is undeniable there. I mean, obviously, Braylon Womack takes the headlines, but there's multiple other future collegiate players there. Taryn Green, who's a South Alabama commit, Katie Ketchings, who is a Liberty commitment right now. There's a lot of guys on there. The problem with this team that they have to still overcome, and they worked on it a lot tonight, and it was evident, but they have to – Hawks shouldn't beat Hawks. That's the message from the coaches. That's what they keep trying to reinforce. If this team can come out next week against the Raiders, as Chris Berman would say.
The Raiders.
If they can come out as the team that they know they're capable of being, and they don't beat themselves first, that's going to be a great back-and-forth contest. If they come out and they make some sloppy mistakes, JA will take advantage.
Oh, without a doubt. Where is that game?
Yeah. It'll be at Hartfield. So we'll be back under the pines at Community Bank Field, which will be a nice for the Hawk fans, obviously.
Right.
But you know how it is in those matchups. It doesn't matter if you're there, if you're at the JA, you're at Hartfield, wherever it is. It's going to be a good one. These two teams have had some really fun, entertaining contests over the last few years.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And I'll tell you, one of the kids I really like on your team is the Ketchings kid. I mean, he plays hard. He's smart, and I tell you, he reminds me a lot of old number 11 you had. Is he still down at Southern? Jablowski?
Reed?
Yeah.
Reed's up he's at Northwest Community College right now.
Northwest, okay.
Northwest. I don't know how he did last night, but I know last week he had 2 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. So
another night at the office for him, yeah. Well, hey, listen, I want you to be careful on the way home, and because it's getting late, but boy, do we want to talk to you after that one next week.
It'll be a fun one. I'm sure lots of storylines to cover there, and I'm gonna let Tommy Barnett handle all of it. I'll be too tired.
I'll let him know that early in the week. Thanks, Joseph. We appreciate you, man.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Joseph Craven on.
So we've got Caleb Hamill to talk about South Jones versus West Jones.
Caleb, we got Brian Grantham here in the studio, and first thing he walked in, he goes, "I got this upset of the night with South Jones beating West Jones." That had to be a heck of a game.
I'll send you the highlight where we about lost our voices at the end of it.
Well, that's when it's a great game.
Yeah, to quote myself at the end, that place was beyond bonkers. South Jones gets the win, their first since 2016 over the Mustangs.
I think Josh, he lost his voice or lost his balance trying to find Antoine Jackson.
Guys, Antoine Jackson, man, talk about real deal. 5 touchdowns for number 5. I think it was 3 rushing, 2 receiving, and none bigger than the final touchdown to go in front 37-35 with about 18 seconds left. This was a back-and-forth game. I mean, South missed their extra point early on, went for 2 right before the half, and tied it up at 21 going to the break. West Jones punched them in the mouth to come right out of the half, leading 28-21. Back and forth they went. West Jones stops them and forces a field goal late to make it just a 3-point game, South leading. Charge down the field and score a touchdown. West takes the lead. And with 3 minutes left, South starts their game-winning drive and, again, finish it off on that Antoine Jackson touchdown. Guy was sidelined 1 or 2 plays before that due to cramping up on the sideline. Coach Harrington burns the timeout and goes over to him and says, "Hey, are you good? Can you go?" And he says, "Throw me the ball."
Oh, wow.
And he did, and that was the game winner. South Jones gets it in a huge upset.
Okay, let me ask you this. I mean, is this South Jones program turning the corner and being the program that a lot of people have wanted them to be over the past 4 or 5 years?
I would certainly say so. I think they're the strongest team they've been in a decade.
Wow.
Because a lot of these guys have played with one another for years upon years in Pee Wee football, either with each other or against one another. And they know each other and have such camaraderie that's almost unexplainable. Coach Harrington joked with me saying that he has to force them out of the locker room after practice because they need to get home. The coaches do to their wives. And so they have to say, "Guys, we need to lock up."
Wow.
And so guys like Colin Flowers, a senior returning quarterback. Anquan's just a junior. His brother Anthony is a freshman playing well for them. This is a very good core group of skilled players. And their defense has shown out a little bit better than what most thought. Even though they give up 35 points tonight, all in all, they're able to outscore their opponents.
Well, Caleb, they broke a 9-game losing streak to West Jones, right?
Something of that sort. I think there's a forfeit somewhere in there because of 2020, but as far as actual games played on the field, yeah, it's the first one since 2020.
That's huge.
Wow.
That's huge. Caleb, thanks for making us a part of your Friday night. It's good to hear from you, my friend.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Russ. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. All right. Have we got
Harold?
All right, Harold, before we get started, okay? All right? I'm coming to Pedal tomorrow morning because the Mighty Tights and the Rookies, my 5-year-old grandson plays for the Mighty Tights, and my 6-year-old plays for the 6-year-old team, and they both got those pedaled uniforms on, and they're waiting for Columbia. Now they're waiting for them, and they've been talking smack all week, and I'm going to be there watching that one. And my 5-year-old grandson, he's I think he's number 10, but he plays that middle nose guard, and then Chesney is my other grandson, and he plays on the Rookies. So I'm going to have my morning at Pedal tomorrow, which may be a little better than being at Pedal tonight.
Yeah, we got another heartbreaker tonight, buddy. But I'm still going to stay with my coach and say, he's going. They're eventually. They will turn this around. I mean, they will turn it around, guys. I look at it that way. It was fumble again, interception. And we were running the ball. Receivers were just not catching. I don't know yet what was going on. I don't know. That first went over Hattiesburg, and then all of a sudden, Ocean Springs was that good team.
Yeah.
Ocean Springs is good.
Yes.
Guys, don't look for the Greyhounds not to be in Starkville.
I agree. I agree. They're that good.
I mean, they are that good. Columbia, hey, those kids now, and I mean this to say they're hungry again too. I think it's everybody's hungry, and I know Coach Boyles and that staff. I love them all to death. I've got to throw this out as I always do. Robert Knight, Matt Dillon, Tyler Watkins. All our great guys.
I lost him. Oh well, thank you, Harold. Come over to the ball game tomorrow and watch my grandsons if you get a chance. They are Hastings King and also Chesney King. Keep an eye on them tomorrow, and we will talk to Harold next week. We're going to step aside, take a time out, and remind you that tonight's show being made possible by Cricket Wireless. We'll take a time out. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Mississippi football families, have you thought about how you're going to tackle student loan debt? Don't do it on your own. Pass the ball to State Treasurer David McRae and his College Savings Mississippi team today. With College Savings Mississippi, you can lock in today's tuition rate, prepay college, and avoid student loan debt altogether. Don't let your finances get sacked because you didn't invest in your child's education. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more today. One in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search, you'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
MPB Think Radio. Mississippi is our mission.
This is MPB Think Radio. Mississippi is our mission.
Well, you can see whether you're in the picture right there.
Yeah. They're all in. Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Russ Robinson along with George Broadstreet. And we have two new additions to the show that we're really excited about. They're going to be handling the Crazy Eights for us for the rest of the year. And J.C. Fox, who is to my right, is...
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
But Harold came back on. Can we grab him? I think he only had a couple things, one thing to say. Then we'll go right into Crazy.
All right, Harold.
Well, I said that.
And now he's lost.
No, he's talking to Ty.
So you're gonna have to work with Ty. Yeah, this is an issue.
Well, I know. The problem is I see it up here.
There he is.
Here we go.
All right, Harold, you wanted to finish up, right?
Right. We just wanted to say that, yeah, we've got Gulfport next week in Gulfport, Russ. I'll probably be calling y'all about 11:30 or whatever we get through, because this time frame works pretty good for me, because I'm looking to see who everybody's got next week. I know, like you said, Pearl's got Clinton next week.
Yep.
How did Meridian do against Starkville tonight, George? Do you know?
Yeah, Starkville won big, like 44-6.
Okay. And then Oak Grove's got a school out of town from somewhere. We've got Gulfport, and I'm not sure who Northwest Rankin has next week.
I don't know, but I'll tell you that Gulfport group, boy, you better be ready and strap it on when you go down there.
Guys, it's just we're gonna like I said, we're gonna do what we they're young, but they're playing, they're scrappy. They're a good bunch of kids, and I mean we got a good man running the show. And I throw this out, and I hope I don't get myself in trouble, but there was a couple parents that were getting a little bit upset, and I'm starting to get up and say, hey, let him run the show. He's the coach. Let him run the show.
Yep.
Let Marcus Bowles run the football team. I don't try to run the football team. I don't try to run nothing at school. I just do what I'm told to do. I get the calls in, mention my people, and do what I can, because I love that. I love the people in this area, and I love every one of them to death. And I will bleed the red blood of Petal from now on.
I know that for a fact. Well, I'll tell Marcus when I see him next. Help is on the way. It's going to be a few years. But
it'll be a few years, but hey, if I didn't have to work tomorrow morning, Russ, I guarantee you I would be there to watch those two play. I'm not, Russ, you never know. There may be a Saturday that I might even just pop up when they're playing and watch them anyway.
There you go. We're going to stream them one game. Harold, we got to run. We appreciate you so much, my friend.
All right, buddy. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Right, from the looks of your grandson, I think by the time he's 8, he probably can play a varsity.
He can play a varsity game, yeah. LSU's already talking to him. That's good. He's 5 years old. All right. We've got Barry Caston, and we've got J.C. Fox. J.C.'s on my right. Barry's on my left. They are going to be handling the Crazy Eights. Guys, we're very excited about having you here with us. They're both interns. And I'll start with Barry. Barry, because you have not only played Crazy Eights, you've coached Crazy Eights.
Yes, sir.
And now you're going to report on Crazy Eights. And I think you're going to find it's easier to report on it than playing it.
I definitely found watching it tonight, I was sitting there thinking, man, I'm glad I don't have to make a few of these calls right now in this game. I just was much happier watching it as a fan because tonight I went to one of the best games that I've ever seen in an 8-man game.
Explain why.
Physicality. So one of the biggest things that 8-man gets a lot of flack for or a lot of blowback on is they think it's not a very physical game due to the open nature of it and everything like that.
Right.
But open field tackling is just as important as anything else in this game. But tonight, behind the legion of linemen that Newton Academy had, they were just pounding the football with Cooper Sabell all night. I think he had 3 touchdowns at the end of it. And then right to answer back late third quarter, fourth quarter, Humphreys Academy just batting down the hatches on defense and just would not give an inch. Multiple fourth down stops from both teams in the late fourth quarter. Fumbles, fumble recoveries, just everything you could want for like the perfect kind of fall night to start an early season. Both undefeated coming into it in Division I. It was phenomenal.
Wow, doesn't get much bigger than that. JC, you're coming down from the small state of Michigan. I think they play a little football up there.
Yes, we do.
But now, had you ever heard of 8-man football before you came here?
I had. We play 8-man up in Michigan.
Really? Mm-hmm. Really? Well, so you know the dimensions of the field and all that goes with it. What is the hardest aspect of the game for 8-man?
I'd gotta say the hardest aspect might be the size of the team. Most of these guys playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know we just mentioned Cooper Savell there for Newton County. I mean, he's a linebacker, a running back, plays some quarterback.
Tight end.
Back. He's the punter. And he returns kicks.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you talk about versatility,
yeah,
and when recruiters go out there looking at players and they put them down as an athlete, these 8-man guys are athletes. They can play everywhere.
And you know what, guys? 8-men are starting to get scholarship offers.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I believe 2 of the kids from Humphreys Academy in the last year, I think they're playing at Arkansas Baptist now up there this year. There's several kids from Delta Academy in that area that are also getting looks at as well, too, that I've talked to a few other coaches to get. And I know that that's just expanding more and more as the game gets more and more knowledge to it.
You know, the first 8-man game I ever called, it was kind of like they would huddle up and draw the play in the dirt and say, you go there and you go there. And, the scores were like 84-72, that kind of thing.
Nobody knew who was eligible or anything. And linemen just running down the field crazy.
It was kind of nuts. It has morphed into a very sophisticated game. Has to be, because you don't have – you're minus 3 players.
Mm-hmm. But you still have the same amount of players offensively is the deal. You're minus 3 players from the defensive side of the ball, but as far as, who's eligible and who you can get the ball to, you still have just as many targets in the 8-man game. Wow. So it's a nightmare for a defensive coordinator to want to play this game. So shout out to all the D coordinators out there who bang their head against the walls each week trying to coach this sport. But I was talking to him earlier. I said the great teams will average about 40 points a game on offense, and the even greater teams will only give up 21 to 28 on defense. So those are the teams you see winning the state championships, going deep in the playoffs every year.
When I first met JC, I was trying to, tell him what we do on Friday Night Lights. 5 years ago, nobody really even knew what was going on. And we had a meeting here at Friday Night Lights, and I said, we need to give those guys some credit. They're out there, like you said, banging their head against each other and all that sort of stuff, just like everybody else. And so we started doing it, and the towns started getting excited.
Yes.
And so for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be going to 8-man games. We're going to be reporting on the 8-man game. We could be talking to one of the players, could be talking to the coach, but Friday Night Under the Lights is going to an 8-man game and giving them coverage that they probably won't get anywhere else.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they might get if you read a newspaper. If you can find a newspaper, I mean, you
yes, sir.
You may get to see the score in there, but that doesn't tell the whole story, does it, JC?
No, it does not. And even when I looked at the map to try to find where these schools are, it's like I can't pronounce some of these town names, and they're out in the middle of nowhere, but they sure do love football.
Yes.
And I mean, you can tell that in the little bit of reporting and the stats that we've been able to find on these schools and these players.
Well, it's going to be a fun year, and it'll, of course, culminate. They've got their own championship.
Yes. So, real quick, I'd like to kind of clarify that because I know the MSAIS had some shuffling around this year.
Right.
But the 8-man really stayed the same. There's now just one division. Oh, sorry. There's a 1A, but there are 2 divisions in that 1A.
A and B.
Yes. So there's a Division 1 and a Division 2.
Okay.
And so there's still districts. There's still district champions that take place and all that. They're just separated into 16 teams per division. There's still a red and a blue trophy at the end of the year for everybody to compete for and to go for.
You know, Ben's Ford played at Hillcrest tonight here in Jackson, and I was kind of hoping that JC, you might get by over there because, you know, here's a school in Hillcrest that has been playing 11-man for a long time, and now they've gone to 8-man. They're going to be successful, but Ben's Ford has a very good program up there in 8-man. So you're going to have to get with Barry on where some of these schools are because they're not they're not right by the interstate.
But like you said, though, these areas still love football. These communities rally around their kids. And, you know, Russ, I personally, for me, I love just giving them the spotlight because some of these kids, you know, 4 years of high school football and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Right.
So just the ability to make the most out of the opportunity that they get is awesome. And I love FNUTL for being able to do that.
Well, and Cricket Wireless stepped in and said, hey, we think it's important.
Yes.
And they'll be out there and they'll be giving some stuff away. But they said, it, you know, hey, it's important. We want to do that. And so y'all will both be out there. I had thought at one point of just having one of you go to a game, but, you know, I'm just sitting here tonight seeing the excitement that you have. We may have to up the budget a little bit, but if both of y'all wanted to go to a game and call that into Crazy Eights, I think that's great. So you coordinate between the two of you which ones that you want to go to. Don't send him to Marble, Arkansas. I mean,
No. Although I think Marble won tonight, though. Actually, so hey,
do you have the scores from tonight?
I have the results. It was a little shaky on some of the scores, but Marvel did win. They beat Union Christian, and so
who else you got on there?
Marvel improves to 2-1, and they look like they might be in a favorable spot in Region 5. I mean, DeSoto's been pretty good, but that game against Humphreys for them they
are a little wiped out right now.
Rough last week.
They got to graduate a lot?
Graduated a whole lot. Matthew Gregory, the quarterback for them, is about all that they've got right now as far as returning, seeing a lot of action. The young team, but Sam Pearson's a legend. He's going to get this crew together. He'll have his linemen playing right in no time. But Tunica's going to definitely take advantage of that, and Marvel's going to sit there pretty too, trying to get some PowerPoint advantage.
I think we've got a Tunica game on the 8-man Crazy 8 schedule. I don't know who gets to go to that one, but it'll be up 55, way up 55.
Oh, yeah.
Barry
Stop
Caston,
at the blue plate.
Barry Caston and J.C. Fox, our new interns here at Friday Night Under the Lights, who is going to handle the Crazy Eights. We will take a timeout. Brandon Shields is on deck to take us to the 12 o'clock hour. Guys, we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. Look forward to it.
All righty. We'll take a timeout. Tonight's show being made possible by the College Savings Program. Did I mention them already this week? Yeah, because I wish I would have that. And if you're a grandparent out there, you need to look into this. Saving Program made possible by State Treasurer David McRae. We'll be back.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more. See your name and file your claim. Even the smallest counties in Mississippi usually have thousands of people whose names are on the unclaimed money list at the Mississippi State Treasury. That's right. Many counties even have tens of thousands of names listed, totaling tens of millions in unclaimed dollars. Since he's been state treasurer, David McRae has returned a record $80 million to Mississippians who've searched the list, found their names, and staked their claim. About 1 in 10 Mississippians have unclaimed money, and that's why you should check www.treasury.ms.gov or click on Unclaimed Money and search today. If you see your name, file your claim. If it's your money, Treasurer David McRae will get it back to you.
Welcome back to Friday Night Under the Lights. Hard to believe. Last segment.
I know.
It just flies. It's the fastest 2 hours of my week. It's the fastest 2 hours of football is Friday Night Under the Lights. And a lot of people say, man, we get calls all the time, or I do. Why don't you stay on the air till 1? No.
Yeah.
No. You got to draw the line.
Somewhere.
People need to be hungry. No, I'm just, we feel like 2 hours. We're really grateful to MPB for, it's like Barry said a moment ago. I mean, that if it weren't for us and MPB, nobody would know about these 8-man games. So
that's right.
All right, what do you got score-wise? And then Brandon Shields going to wrap it up for us.
What I did, I'm just gonna give you what I consider my top 10 games of the night.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
Picayune defeating Biloxi 23-14. That was one of them. The Brandon Clinton game. That was a good game. Brandon won 14-9. Pretty positive game for both teams. Warren Central over Germantown 52-41. Gulfport over Laurel 17-14. Kosciuszko beating Leake Central 49-7. It was Madison Central and Brookhaven, probably the game of the night. But in overtime, Brookhaven won 20-17 at home. Oak Grove, in a surprising fashion, beating Hattiesburg 48-7. That was one of the games I had. Another game, Ocean Springs defeating Pascagoula 21-14. Columbia, who's now 3-0, and you think about it, they beat Hartfield at Hartfield, first game of the season.
Yep.
That was pretty impressive. And not only, Columbia's a 4A school, they beat a 7A in Petal tonight, 32-7. That's pretty impressive.
Well, speaking of impressive, have you seen their new football stadium at Columbia?
No, I haven't.
Woo! I mean, they still got the statue of Walter Payton out there.
Yeah, and they should.
But you should see that facility at Columbia. It is some kind of nice. And, of course, Chip Bilderback has just done an outstanding job with that program over there.
Yeah.
And that doesn't surprise me when they win. It really doesn't. But those, I think, to me, the Madison Central Brookhaven game, probably the biggest upset of the night.
All right, I got two more to throw in
All
here.
right.
I think the Starkville Meridian game was significant enough. Starkville won that game 44-6. And the last one is the one that Granny was keying in on. South Jones beating West Jones 38-35.
That must have been a heck of a game.
Humdinger.
And don't forget the one Bear was talking about. He's seen a bunch of football games with 8-man. Mm-hmm. And the one he saw tonight rivals them.
Right.
Do we have Brandon on with us?
No.
No.
Did we ever actually talk to Granny?
Well, yeah, sort of.
I just want to make sure we gave him a little love there.
Yeah, we sort of did.
Yeah.
But no, we do not. He must be unable to get Brandon right at the moment.
Okay.
Well, he went to the Brandon Clinton game, so I know he's in the area. He may be sitting on Highway 18 waiting for the cars to pile out of there. When you think about it, Brandon and Clinton at 14-9, and you're talking about a Clinton team that had 5 interceptions in that game.
Yeah.
And Brandon still scores 14 points.
Yeah. The way I understood from what Ray said, at Brandon, they got a turnover, but then they turned it over right back to Clinton a couple of times. That happened. I can give you a few more scores.
Yeah, please.
Let's see. Let me see if I can pick out some good ones. Pearl winning 39-0 over Florence. That was a significant win. West Harrison beating Gaucher 47-17. Let's see. It was Hazelhurst over Natchez 15-6. Tupelo, we need to mention Tupelo.
Yeah, we hadn't mentioned them tonight.
Well, we've mentioned a couple of times, but they beat Houston of Germantown, Tennessee 45-7. Tupelo is just really good. I mean, that's just the only way to put it. Horn Lake beat Olive Branch 32-8. Velma Jackson over Jefferson County 34-6. It was, let me give you a couple more. Let's see. Hamilton defeating Nanawaya. You got to get Nanawaya in there somewhere. 47-35. Northeast Jones edging Newton County 15-14. Northwest Rankin winning over Wayne County 24-14. Noxapater defeating Puckett 27-0. Let's see. It was Poplarville. This is your kind of game. Poplarville beating Hancock 60-54.
Yeah, defense is only a rumor.
Absolutely no defense. Oxford defeating Lafayette, and that's one of those things. If you don't really understand Lafayette County, and JC, it's Lafayette everywhere else in the world, and Lafayette County is Lafayette. Oxford.
We don't understand that. We just report
it. Just do it. 63-20 was the final Oxford, but that's a huge game up in that part of the world. Let's see. Mitt County over Resurrection 28-6. Ridgeland stays undefeated. They beat Vicksburg 48-22. St. Martin over Stone 21-3. Moss Point beat St. Stanislaus 24-14. South Panola, South Panola was 0-2, which is just unthinkable, but they defeated South Haven tonight at South Haven 34-19. Mendenhall won over South Pike 20-12. Terry, a big winner over North Pike 35-6. It was West Point winning again, beating Noxubee County 27-20. Calhoun City beat Winona 42-33. MAIS action. Hartfield beating Pillow 42-13. Jackson Academy over Greenville St. Joe 45-7. MRA beating Collierville, Tennessee. I don't know what MRA's travel budget is, but it's significant. They defeated Collierville 62-37. And didn't they say they were going to Alabama to play somebody next week? Or
no, we got prep
I'm thinking
next
of somebody else. I'm thinking of somebody else. But they have prep next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. MRA, big winner, 62-37. Park Lane won again. They beat Oak Forest 35-12.
Brandon's on, so you got not prolonged.
All right, Tri-County and Jackson Prep. Jackson Prep won 45-6, and get Brandon on real quick.
All right, let's get Brandon. Brandon, the blame is mine. I forgot to give.
So you know what happens every time we say get him on?
He drops.
No, they're not done talking. One screen tells me he's on. The other one says, nope, they're still having a conversation. But guess what?
He's now
They're
here.
done. You're on, Brandon.
All right, Brandon, it's my fault. I forgot to give your number to Ty, so he didn't have it. But anyway, you were at Brandon Clinton, right?
Right.
All right. Have you ever seen a game where a team turned the ball over on 5 picks and still held the team to 14 points?
No, that was the first for me. so, I mean, it was kind of flipped the script. North Clinton coming in, they had caused 9 turnovers, 6 last week against Northwest, and tonight it kind of flipped on them. Their first game on the road, and they're playing a lot of their quarterbacks a sophomore, so it was a learning experience. Obviously, a couple of those balls that were just literally throwaways that didn't get out of bounds. It ended up in the defensive back's hands.
So,
yeah. Eli Morey for Brandon had 3 picks, 3 of those 5 interceptions. So, but it kind of turned the page. Brandon couldn't really do much. Well, I say they couldn't do much offensively. C.J. Campbell, backup running back, had 181 yards rushing with a touchdown on 23 carries. So they did enough to win. Brandon's defense played obviously really well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this was a tough win for them. They kind of needed to win a game like that, especially next week having to go to they're going to Birmingham playing.
That's who I was.
That's who. Yeah. Do we know anything about that team?
No, I know nothing about that team.
Okay.
So that's like a 3.5 hour trip for them. So.
Well, I'll tell you one that you're probably going to want to go to next weekend will probably be J.A. Hartfield.
Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the list. First district game.
Yeah.
So and Prep MRA. So the heavyweights are going at it. So to start off, so that's going to be a
slobber knocker.
Yeah. Very, very interesting to see how those pan out.
All right, well, we got to wrap it up. It's my fault. I didn't get him the numbers, so we'll give you your full allotment next week, but we got to cut out of here. Thanks, Brandon. Have a great week. Hey, I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your Friday night tonight on Friday Night Under Lights. And big thanks to Liz for engineering for MPB and Chris Saxton for producing for Friday Night Under Lights, Barry Caston and J.C. Fox for their Crazy Eights report. Next week, George, good job as always. I'm Russ Robinson. Big thanks to Ty Bailey. We're out of here. Have a great week.
Hello, Mississippi. Did you know that the average student graduates college with $30,000 worth of debt? That amount of debt can delay major life milestones, including getting married, buying a home, and starting a family. But don't worry, we've got some good news for you tonight. College Savings Mississippi and Treasurer David McRae can help you reduce or eliminate that debt. Their plans are flexible and affordable. Start saving for as little as $25 today. Visit treasury.ms.gov/college savings to learn more. 1 in 10 Mississippians has unclaimed money awaiting claim at the state treasury. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars waiting to be united with the rightful owner. At www.treasury.ms.gov to search. You'll see your name and stake your claim by following these instructions. You'll be asked for some basic ID like a copy of your license or a government-issued ID, then hit send. Treasurer David McRae has a dedicated unclaimed money team awaiting your claim, ready to return your money. Don't wait. Look for your name and stake your claim today. www.treasury.ms.gov.
Trusted by homeowners and businesses across the Southeast. Commercial roofing, reliable and durable solutions for your business. Residential roofing, protecting your home with quality craftsmanship. Metal walls, custom designs for a modern look. Emergency services, rapid response to protect your property.
After a recent hailstorm, I needed a total roof replacement. I chose Malone Roofing for the job. They delivered top-notch service, and my new roof looks great.
We started looking for roofers when we realized that we had leaks throughout our facilities in our district. What stood out to me about Malone Roofing was great customer service, a fine finished project, and great following. I would definitely work with Malone Roofing again.
My project was a little more complicated than just needing a new roof. I decided that Malone would be who we needed to work with, that would do the best job for us. My experience working with Malone was wonderful.
Contact us today for a free inspection. Visit www.ecmalone.com or call 1-833-7-MALONE.